Sure.
All right, we've got Einar Michelson again, millennial consultant, round two. Now you've been there for a full quarter, right? 3 months. And
Yeah.
we've got your initial insight a month in. Now here's a quarter in. First off, as far as that, there's an advantage to being an external voice, and now I can kind of see how they saw internal voices. That kind of spectrum of communication, that life cycle of communication, what would you add to that, if anything, from the first time?
Yeah, I still feel the same way that we are kind of the extended arm of the internal stakeholders. So if I were to be a consultant where I worked before, then I think, yeah, I would act as kind of my own extended arm, and kind of do what kind of I wanted to get, or what I wanted to communicate and get through to top management in my old job. Then, like, the external consultants would be kind of the extended arm of that and kind of help get that through.
And let me make sure that I understand you. So the two of you are sitting together, and basically internal guy says to external guy, what do you think? And external guy says, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's put it up to top level management. And then it's external guy that takes that communication forward.
Yeah. And then, yeah, and maybe it's kind of more listened to when the external guy does it.
There we go.
So I still feel the same way about that.
Fair enough. And when we're saying guy, we're talking about you. So we just want to make sure, of course, this is the external woman, external man. That's neither here nor there. Now, as far as what you've been hearing in meetings, of course, there's intellectual property. We're not interested in kind of finding out anything that we don't need to find out. We're more looking for kind of themes of how you're seeing, the adaptation and adoption and scaling up of intelligent automation. So, now a quarter in, and now that you've been in a number of, a larger number of meetings, what are your thoughts on how we're doing as a universe here?
Yeah, I think the conversation is not necessarily always just about intelligent automation, but kind of how that fits into the business transformation agenda and how that supports the kind of digital transformation of enterprises. So I think we are looking to kind of move into kind of selling or talking about automation in kind of a broader context, and that being kind of the initial spark that kind of ignites the digital transformation journey.
It sounds like that's your point of view, and your kind of corporate point of view. You're bringing that forward, and obviously, corporate enterprise practitioners are speaking the same language as far as digital transformation and enterprise transformation. However, I wonder what your thoughts are on how many folks actually get that point, or how many folks are able to get that point based on the structure of global enterprise on the whole. Is it 10%? Is it 50%? Is it 75% that have a enterprise transformation plan, which includes, of course, specific digital transformation, which intelligent automation is the tip of the spear, and everybody's on the same page, and we're all moving forward. Where are you as far as how many folks actually get that bigger picture?
Yeah, I think there is a range of where people are in their journey with some are just starting with RPA, and some are moving into more advanced stuff. So I think it depends kind of where you are. But in general, like for people or businesses starting with their digital transformation journey, I think most of them see that RPA is kind of a good way to get quick wins, and it's a good way to kind of free up time to work with the overall digital transformation. But in terms of percentage, I don't know. I think it's very few that hasn't identified the need to kind of change their business. So I think, yeah, I think that most identify digital as kind of where they're going.
So everybody identifies with the mindset, the ability to actually expedite the journey. That's a different question. And that brings us to kind of segmenting out industries. Last time we talked, you said, hey, listen, BFSI is definitely still on the front end as far as intelligent automation is concerned. But because the industries are so heavily regulated, other industry sectors could have the opportunity to leapfrog as far as, innovation. Are you seeing further evidence of that, or is that still simply a theory at this point, meaning BFSI is still absolutely in front as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing, at least in Norway right now, is that the public sector has a huge focus on kind of accelerating their digital transformation journey. We see a lot of public sector companies starting up with RPA, with chatbots and whatever. So I think they have definitely identified that this is something that can help them improve their business. So I think the most important thing is kind of the customer aspect of it, or the user aspect and the user aspect. They're focusing on delivering better customer experiences, and so I think, for the public companies, it's not about kind of making money, but it's about saving cost and improving the user experience.
And you're talking about essentially government companies when you say public, right?
Yeah.
Our friends in startup land that are going public. We don't mean that. We mean public companies. And so here's the best customer experience that they can provide: taxpayer savings, right?
Yeah, right. And they have to, but they also have to improve the customer experience, because their customers, or us, expect much more from them because of kind of the big tech companies leading the way and in terms of customer experience. So I think there is a whole nother demand for a better user and customer experience now than just a couple of years ago.
There you go. If this is what I'm getting from Amazon or Alibaba, I need to get this from you, utility. So, 100%. Fair enough. Okay, so that kind of gives us a line in the sand for Q1. And specifically, I guess, in the Nordics, at least in Norway, public sector kind of pulling ahead a little bit.
Not necessarily pulling ahead, but they're starting to kind of launch their initiatives. So I think it's still, I guess, a bit regulated in the public sector, but I think they're starting to accelerate their journey. Not necessarily pulling ahead of the financial services sector, but they're catching up.
Fair enough. Grabbing a seat at the table is a better way to put it. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So we'll see what we can learn from them. We'll do industry sectors again. We'll do your own kind of experience in meetings when next we meet. But for the time being, that's that. So there's Millennial Consultant Einar Michelson, and thank you so much, as always, my friend.
Yeah, thank you for having me.